Hello everyone, Sage Studio here, and today I will be doing a ranking of my top 15 MCU heroes. Now before I get on with it, I just want to say that this video does contain some massive Endgame spoilers, so if you haven't seen Endgame, do click off the video, but if you have seen Endgame, please do enjoy the video. Kicking off our list at number 15 is Nebula. Now, Endgame really did make me like Nebula a lot more in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 and 2 and in Avengers Infinity War. I just thought she was a decent character, but Endgame really did set up her own character arc, and to see her form a friendship with most of the Avengers, for example, War Machine and Tony Stark, it was honestly just amazing, and her character has improved a lot in this film, and I cannot wait to see her in future MCU films. Coming in at number 14 is Falcon. Me personally, I never thought Falcon was the best hero in the MCU, but his character really has developed from Winter Soldier up to now. He's not just some sort of guy with wings. I like for what he stands for, because he's like Steve Rogers, and he even admitted himself he's like Steve Rogers, only slower, and spoilers for Endgame, but I think he'll make a great Captain America, because in the end of Endgame, Steve Rogers did pass down the shield to Sam, so I really do think he'll make a great Captain America in the near future. Coming in at number 13 is Rocket. Now, Rocket has always been used for more of a comedic side of the MCU, but in Endgame, he has one of the most emotional character arcs because he lost his family, and in the start of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise, he always did admit that he never needed them. But I like how he accepted that he does need his family in this film, and that's what I really think made Rocket stood out in this film. So I do look forward to seeing him in the MCU in the future. And at number 12 we have Drax. Now Drax is more of a comedic character in the MCU and possibly one of the funniest characters in the MCU, if not the funniest. But his motivations have also been clear. Thanos killed Drax's family, and you understand why he does what he does, which is fighting for good. So, me personally, I would put Drax higher on the list, but we never really did get to see those motivations play out. He only confronted Thanos, I think, twice in Infinity War and not once in Endgame. So, if he did have a bit of a, I guess you can say, battle with Thanos, like one on one, I would have put him a bit higher, but for now, I think number 12 suits him the best. Coming in at number 11 is Clint Barton, or Hawkeye. Now, me personally, I never really did like Hawkeye in the original Avengers, or Civil War, or even Age of Ultron, but Endgame really does give him one character arc that I just love personally. Because you understand what his motivations are this time. He is fighting bad guys and killing people because he lost his family, and you understand what drove him to go insane. So, me personally, I do wish to see more Hawkeye in the near future of the MCU, but I doubt we'll get that much of him, mainly because I think Jeremy Renner's contract is over. I'm not 100% sure, but I hope they renew a contract for at least 2 or 3 more films because I really did enjoy his character in Endgame. And kicking off our top 10 is Doctor Strange. Now, me personally, I thought he was an okay character in his solo film, but Thor Ragnarok, Endgame, and Infinity War made me like him a whole lot more. In my opinion, he's a lot more useful as a side character rather than a main character. And in all honesty, I think he was one of the most useful Avengers in Endgame and Infinity War, and even had a lot of use in Thor Ragnarok, so I really do hope to see more of Doctor Strange in the near future of the MCU. And at number 9 is Captain Marvel. Now, me personally, I prefer Captain Marvel in crossover movies like Avengers Endgame, and she's okay in her own solo movie as well, but I think she works best as a character when she interacts with other characters. For example, when she had that interaction with Spider-Man in Endgame and her interaction with Thor, I enjoy her as a character best in those moments. But in her solo movies, she's also fine, so I look forward to seeing her in the near future of the MCU also. Coming in at number 8 is Gamora. And me personally, I thought Gamora was a decent character in the MCU, but after Avengers Infinity War, I like her a whole lot more. Mainly because you get to see what actually happened in her past, and seeing her death in Infinity War is still one of the saddest moments in the MCU overall. So seeing her return in Avengers Endgame was, in all honesty, one of the best things ever, and I really do look forward to seeing what the MCU has in store for her character in the near future. Coming in at number 7 is Black Widow. I never really liked her in Iron Man 2, and I thought she was decent in Avengers. Winter Soldier is when her character really got amazing, but me personally, Endgame is probably her best performance. Mainly because she is the sacrifice for the Soul Stone, and you really got to see how far her character has come since Iron Man 2 to Avengers Endgame, so that's why she is pretty high on the list, but she just could not make the cut for the top 5, unfortunately. Okay, so real quick, number 6 is a tie between Captain America and Black Panther. I just could not pick one character over the other, so I'm going to say why I like these characters a lot. So I'm going to start off with Steve Rogers. I really liked the ending of his character arc in Endgame, mainly because he's always been a character that has never been selfish in his life, and the fact that he got that dance with Peggy Carter in the ending of the film really meant a lot to me because he's always been one person to put others in front of him, and the fact that he just thought of himself for a change was amazing. And T'Challa, he's running his own country, and he's probably one of the more political MCU characters in my opinion. And I really like that a lot because he's probably the only MCU character that is more serious apart from Doctor Strange. So I really like how he's not just all about comedy. I do love the comedy of the MCU, but we do need some more serious characters like T'Challa. And at number 5, we have Scarlet Witch. Now, me personally, I loved her character in Endgame and Infinity War and Civil War, but Age of Ultron, I was not interested in the character whatsoever. So to see her transition from probably number 20 in Age of Ultron to the top 5 really is impressive. In Endgame, she is probably one of the most powerful Avengers. I'd say number 4 or number 3, because she is one of the characters that manages to almost kill Thanos by herself. And I honestly thought Thor was the only one who could do that. Probably Doctor Strange, but for now, I think Wanda Maximoff is safe in the top 5. Coming in at number 4, we have Star Lord. I know a lot of people hate him from Infinity War, but me personally, I like him because he's more of a human in the MCU. I know he's a human, but when I say this, I mean he's one of the more realistic characters because he actually feels affected by death. You saw that from Gamora, and you saw that from Ego admitting that he killed his mom. So, me personally, I just like him because he's one of the more relatable characters in the MCU, and I'm looking forward to him in the near future. Okay, heads up, I'm just saying that number 3 is probably one of the hardest, if not the hardest rankings I've ever have to do, so if your favorite character is not on this, I am sorry, but this is my opinion. Kicking off the top 3 is Iron Man. Now, me personally, he had one of the best character arcs in the entire MCU because in his first solo film, Iron Man, he starts off as pretty much a selfish person who would not sacrifice his life whatsoever, but seeing him sacrifice himself in Endgame is probably one of the most emotional and perfect cinematic scenes in history, so he deserves to be on number 3. I wish I could put him any higher, but unfortunately, these next two characters are just a little bit better in my opinion. Our runner up is Thor. Now, me personally, I really do enjoy this character in his three recent MCU films: Thor Ragnarok, Avengers Infinity War, and Avengers Endgame. Mainly because you get to see how he started off as an egotistical fish out of water, becoming more of someone who lost everything and has paid prices for pretty much every mistake he has made. But seeing him continue on really did mean a lot, so that's why Thor is number 2 on my list. And number one is Spider-Man. Now, me personally, I really enjoy this character in the MCU because it's nice just to get a teenager's perspective of the MCU and the fact that he has lost a lot of people in his life. Uncle Ben and Tony Stark really does mean his character is going to grow in future films such as Far From Home. So hopefully his character arc continues to grow because what they're doing with Spider-Man right now is amazing in the MCU. So hopefully his character arc does grow in Far From Home, and that's why he is number one. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. Remember, this was my opinion. There is an update video coming tomorrow, so hopefully you will all be around for that. And thank you and goodbye.